This is Nick Nielsen, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for you today here is a review of the DC5 massage gun from a company called Bob and Brad. Now, that's actually the company name, that's just not two random guys named Bob and Brad. So, this is what the machine looks like. This is essentially the bulk of the machine. Now, it comes with a variety of different massage heads, and if you've never used one of these guns before, one of the benefits of this one, it actually comes with a very complete set of instructions on when to use which head and what their purpose of those heads are for. So if you've not used a massage gun like this before, a percussion massage gun like this before, this is going to help you out with that. Now, going back to if you've never used a massage gun before, essentially this is percussion. So it operates very, very quickly back and forth, essentially like a jackhammer, but in a more comfortable way. So what I'm going to do here is give you a quick demo of how this one works and what this looks like. Now, before I do, I just want to kind of let you know that this is actually, I'd say, probably the highest quality massage gun that I've ever tried, and I've tested a bunch of them. And I like the grip on this. It's very ergonomic as far as the handling. You can hold it in a variety of different ways. For example, what I've done is I'm not very flexible, so I can actually hold it down here, reach up and get myself in the upper back, or if I want to reach around, I can come back here and then hit the back that way too. If you have somebody who can do that for you, that's going to be the better way to go, but there are things you can do with this without needing somebody else to do that on you. So, how does this work? Very simple. This is the sample head. This is the big ball head. This is good for larger muscle groups like quads, glutes, hamstrings, that kind of thing. Essentially, stick that in and you're good to go. That's literally, you know, the depths of the complicatedness of putting the heads onto here is you just stick it right on there. Now, I'm going to give you a close-up look on how to turn this on. So, there's two buttons here, and it's very simple to operate. You hold this one on, turns the power on, and that starts it up. Now, what you'll see here is M1. That means the first mode. This is a consistent single speed, no variability. And this is good for, you know, you're just kind of massaging in a general area rather than trying to work specific activation or work knots out. So you can actually increase the speed on this, hitting that same button, 2000 RPM, basically, that's how many times it percusses per minute. And this goes pretty high up, 2500. And then slow down, you can bring it back down with that button here. Like I said, very easy to use. You come all the way down and it's going to just turn right off. Now, another good feature of this, and I'll show you this as well here, is once you have that in the off position, you can turn it to a different mode. Now, M2, I'll kind of bring this in close so you can see. What this is doing is, without you even touching anything, it's automatically going up in percussive speed. And this goes all the way up to 2500, and then goes right back down to 1500. So this slowly ramps up and then drops down, slowly ramps up and then drops down. I'll show you M3 here, mode 3. And you just hit that one time, starts high level, 2500, and then comes down. So it's basically the opposite of the previous mode. Instead of starting low and coming up, this starts high and comes down, which is good for muscle activation. And if you want to go directly to the mode change, just hold down that button right here. Now you got mode 4. Right, so once you're on mode 4 here, this is what's called triangle wave mode. So it actually changes tempo very, very quickly. It spends 2 seconds on each one. Goes up very quickly, down very quickly, up very quickly, down very quickly. So basically coming up, down, down. So it's not like the others where you're ramping up and then immediately dropping, or starting high and coming down and then going right back up. It's basically like a peak. Now this is good for just general usage. I'll turn that off. Alright, so I've showed you one of the attachments already, and that is the ball attachment, which is good for larger muscle groups. Now, I'm going to go through a few of the other ones here that come with the machine. This is more for sensitive areas, so you can see this is actually more squishy. So you use this on areas that are either tougher to get at or a little more targeted. Like, for example, if you want to target the lats and the serratus muscles in here. You don't want something too hard, you don't want something too solid, but this is going to get in there. If you've got trigger points that you want to kind of be gentle with, or injured areas that you want to be a little more gentle with, but you want circulation, this is the massage head to go with. Now, this is solid but rounded. So you want to use this on areas that are, I find, more bony. So you don't want to be digging in with something rock solid, but you want something that's a little bit rounded and soft in order to not, make things worse. All right, so the next head is basically the standard massage head. So you can see here, it's rounded, it's got a little bit of give to it, but it's definitely more solid than the other heads, especially more solid than that bigger foam head. This can be used just about anywhere, so it's basically the quote-unquote standard head that can be good for just about anything. Now, next one, this is good for trigger points. So if you really want to get in and hammer away at scar tissue, get in a small targeted area, this is the one you're going to want to use. The final head included with this kit here is this scraper head. Essentially what this is good for is pushing fluid back up into the center of your body, which then your body processes and flushes out. So lactic acid, lymph drainage, that kind of thing. You just move it on here, and you don't go that way away from your body. You actually use it to scrape and essentially snowplow fluid back up and assist with drainage of fluids in your body. So real quick, as I mentioned before, this comes with a set of instructions on how to use it for best results with the various heads. And I'll give you a little close-up here. As you can see, abs, upper back, hands, shoulders, biceps. It tells you which head to use, how to move it, how long to use it on each area. So it really covers basically everything you need to know if you're not familiar with how to use massage guns properly. And besides just like picking a head and hammering away at a spot, there are techniques that you can use to make this more effective. Now, what I want to also show you here is comes with a very nice carrying case, and I feel like I should be on the Price is Right. But this, your massage gun fits right in here. That's your massage heads, charging cord, everything's included in the kit. So it actually makes it really easy to bring this, with you wherever you're going. If you wanted to bring it to the gym, you can. But having a place to stock it away, keeping everything together is a really big bonus in my opinion. Now, just in general, as I mentioned, the durability on this thing is excellent. It's really well constructed. This is not a cheapo piece of equipment at all, even though the price is very reasonable. I like the features on this one, having the ability to change out the heads very easily. The charging on here takes about 2.5 hours when the charge is almost depleted. You don't want to let it go fully depleted, but I found a couple hours charges right back up to full power. And as far as use time goes, I found I got at least a couple hours before I felt the need to recharge it. And this is very easy to use, plug in, charge in, and overall a really nice piece of therapeutic equipment. Now, are there any downsides to this piece of equipment? Now, the only primary one that I've ever found with this stuff is that it is difficult to get hard to reach places by yourself. So, trying to get behind the back like that, it is a bit more challenging, but that's kind of something that you're going to run into with just about any gun. But the unique shape of this one, I find, actually allows me to hold on to it more effectively than something that is actually gun-shaped, because then I'm able to hold at the bottom and actually get some of these areas that I couldn't get to with other ones. Battery life is good, charging is easy. There are no real downsides to this one. I didn't find anything that made me want to say, oh no, don't get this. Not even close. There's nothing but positives in this one as far as I'm concerned, other than kind of the general things you need to watch out for all massage guns. So now, bottom line, massage guns can be very, very good for a variety of things, whether it's injury rehabilitation, injury prevention, circulation, localized muscle activation, smoothing out trigger points, that kind of thing. I actually prefer these over foam rolling because they're just that much more targeted. This, I would say, to be the top of the line kind of massage gun thing. There are various other brands out there. I've tested actually a few from Bob and Brad, this company, but this I find is actually the best one that I've ever tested. So if you are in the market for one of these, literally you can't go wrong with this DC5 variation.